Good morning, everybody. Janta Claus here. And I'm back with day 10, 13. And yes, I practiced that this morning because math. I do math in the opposite way, meaning that I can't do math. Welcome to day 13 of my holiday gift extravaganza. Wow. I need to go back when we're all done with all of these and count how many gifts I've given away. It just kind of blows my mind. And that's what Christmas is all about, right? And really, what blows my mind is the generosity of all the people out there who donated to this. That is just amazing. And I thank them again. I have a really great gift. Not that all the other ones weren't great, of course, but wait till you see today's. It's scrumptious. Speaking of scrumptious, oh my God, what a perfect segue. I couldn't have planned that if I had tried. Speaking of scrumptious, oh, there goes the jets again. Hear that? Jets are flying. They're early today. I live just north of Lackland Air Force Base. And it's where the jet trainers fly out of. They're just right here, and so when they take off, they come over the campground. So they're pretty low still when they come over here. Usually they don't fly until about 2 in the afternoon, but they've been doing some morning flying the past couple days, and they've also been doing some night flying, night training the past couple nights. So I love it. I love hearing the jets. I love watching them. We used to watch the Blue Angels fly at the Naval Academy graduations where we lived back just north of Annapolis in Maryland. Love it. When we lived in Hawaii, we lived across from Wheeler, so we were always having the helicopters, the different training helicopters going over our apartment. Love it. Anyway, speaking of scrumptious, yes, I did get hungry reading all of your comments, and I have to say, you people like your mashed potatoes. I would say that and sweet potato casserole was probably high up there for one of the top favorites. Of course, at Christmas time, they have to have sour cream. And one of you decadent people puts butter and cream cheese. I think you said cream cheese in your mashed potatoes. OMG, that sounds amazing. Yeah, I'm coming to your house. I'm coming to all your houses, actually. Everything from having like just nonstop appetizers on Christmas Eve to having, oh my goodness, one of you said, and of course, forgive me if I ever get any of these details wrong because I read so many, but I think one of you said you not only have everybody bring meals, bring dishes to whatever, you know, whether it was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but then you also, it's kind of like a celebration of all the food you love. So everybody has their favorite dish, but then you also order out your favorite dishes. So you might have sushi and pizza and whatever else. I would be ordering Indian food. Chicken tikka masala for the win. Let's see. There's, of course, all the wonderful ethnic meals, both Christmas Eve traditions and Christmas Day traditions, you know, German, Swedish. I did not know that here in Texas, tamales are not only a Christmas tradition, but apparently through the whole month of December. Mike would absolutely love that. He loves tamales. He doesn't get them very often. So I'm thinking, if any of you know of a good place to get them that's here on the west side of San Antonio, any of my local viewers, or even better if they deliver, I'd love to surprise him with some Christmas tamales. Of course, we're going to be up in Houston, out at a campground outside of Houston for Christmas, so maybe a place up there. We're actually going to be about an hour northeast of Houston at an Army Corps of Engineer campground. So I can get them here and take them with us. I've actually never had a tamale. I know. Mike grew up in Phoenix, so he's all about that. You know, he loved burritos and Actually, I think he just got frozen burritos in college growing up. But yeah, he loves tamales. So yeah, I mean, there's so many great comments. I loved Fran Cohen's comment. Fran, let me see if I can get this right without going and finding it. She said, every Christmas you have turkey, ham, and lasagna. The turkey is for those that don't like ham. The ham is for those who are tired of turkey after Thanksgiving. And the lasagna is because, well, I'm Italian. What can I say? I love that. Many of you have lasagna either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. Many of you have your big meal on Christmas Eve and just kind of snack all through Christmas Day. I mean, it all sounds amazing. And then, of course, all of the sweets, all of the wonderful treats that you mentioned before, special breakfasts, you know, start with a breakfast casserole and just go on from there. That's kind of how my family was. Now, I didn't share yesterday my special memory of either of the holidays. I think I mentioned to some of you, I don't know whether I mentioned in a video, my house was the one that our families, mostly my mother's side, came to for the holidays. My paternal grandmother lived next door to us. My maternal grandmother lived just 10 minutes from us. So they always were at our house for the holidays. And then any other relatives, again, on my mother's side, if they came in for the holidays, it was always our house that they gathered at. And so there was always a lot of baking and cooking. And of course, it started on Christmas Eve. After our Christmas Eve service, we would come home and my mother would start baking and I would help her with whatever she needed. Now, my mother was a night owl. And so she would stay up until 1, 2 in the morning getting the pies done and whatever else she could get done. She made cinnamon rolls sometimes for breakfast. She made breakfast casserole sometime for breakfast. So whatever was on the menu that year, she would get ahead as much as she could Christmas Eve. Now, the reason it's a special, in quotes, memory is because, as I mentioned on a previous video, we had a split level house. And so it was just 5 steps between the hallway to the bedrooms down to the living room here and the kitchen over here. My mother was a night owl. I wasn't. And I don't think any of the rest of us were. But we could hear everything she was doing all night long, banging around in the kitchen. It's like, oh my God, Mom, go to bed already. And then the next morning we would get up. I was in charge of cutting up the stuffing, cutting up the bread for the stuffing. So we'd cut it up early and then let it dry in we had a big aluminum turkey roaster. We would let it sit in there and dry out before she made the stuffing. My mother, whenever she would make pies, she made all of her crust pies from scratch. Any extra dough, pie dough that she had, she would put out on a baking sheet and put butter on it and sprinkle cinnamon and sugar on it. And that would be a special little treat for us kids first thing in the morning. I loved that. Simple, right? But, oh, just, you know, a little thing that I just absolutely loved. I loved her stuffing. I do make it myself with gluten-free bread whenever we are stuffing a turkey. Yeah, my grandmother made something called raisin squares. They were a Scottish treat, a Scottish dish, just basically a flat pie type of thing, pie type of dough with some kind of raisin stuff in the middle with the dough sprinkled with sugar. I never liked them that much. Sorry, Grandma. Everybody else loved them though. So yeah, that's kind of, I loved, when we would have ham for Easter, my mother would make scalloped potatoes. Loved her scalloped potatoes. Those are the kind of highlights. One of you mentioned just sitting around the table after you eat, just sitting and talking and laughing and sharing. That was another special part about everybody coming to our house. And it always felt, I remember whenever I got old enough to sit at the adult table and sit there with them after the meal, you know, you feel like such an adult. Yeah. So, yeah, thank you for sharing. And so many of you said that your favorite part of the meal was just being with family. And that's what it's all about, right? I'm going to start to cry, so I'm going to stop now. And I'm going to announce the winners. All right. Whole bunch from yesterday, of course. Oh, I got these all out of order now as I was doing the pulling. Number 1. This goes to Sarah. Oh, I hope I don't butcher your last name, Sarah. Sarah Ussery, U-S-S-E-R-Y. Sarah says, "Hi, Jan. Honestly, I don't really have a favorite for our Christmas meal. Now, my family have definite favorites. My oldest daughter loves my sausage balls and the peanut butter Krispies I make." And you know, Sarah, you mentioned peanut butter Krispies. It has been years since I've done Rice Krispie Squares, and the ones with peanut butter. And of course, because it's rice, I could eat it. Oh, and we would put chocolate on it too. Oh, dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Anyways, my youngest daughter loves my deviled eggs. I love deviled eggs too. Fried cabbage and chocolate chip cookies. My late husband loved everything. So needless to say, I do a lot of cooking, but I love every minute of it. So Sarah, you get number 1. Number 2 goes to Lily Lewis. Lily says, "My favorite meal at the holidays is on Christmas Eve. We have a spaghetti dinner and birthday cake. I want my family to remember that before we get lost in gifts the next morning, that Christmas is about the birth of Jesus. And so we have a birthday cake and light candles and sing happy birthday to Jesus." I love that. Oh, God. I love you guys. Number 3. Number 3 goes to Amy Beckett Martney. She says, "My favorite part of the holiday meal is saying grace and holding hands. We don't often say grace throughout the year, but we never miss it at Christmas time." Number 4, this goes to Geneva Clark. Geneva says, "My favorites have to be green bean casserole." Really, Geneva? I know, a lot of people do that. "My favorites have to be green bean casserole and pumpkin pie with, of course, mounds of Cool Whip." Yes, you can't have pumpkin pie without mounds of Cool Whip. Number 5. 5 goes to Kathleen DeCamp. She says, "Hi, Jan. At Christmas, we always try to have ham as the main dish since we have turkey on Thanksgiving. I miss those days when the whole family would gather. Even before COVID, we all sort of went our own ways." I agree, Kathleen. It's hard. And number 6. 6 goes to Hoove, H-O-O-V. Sasha. Bearing his food. "The Christmas meal would not be complete in our family without," wait for it, "the lutefisk. I don't eat it, LOL, but there are family members that do. I've heard of lutefisk. Doesn't sound very appealing to me." But it's a tradition, right? You gotta love traditions. All right, guys, as always, did I comment on the guys yesterday? Oh my God, I get so caught up in what I need to do next. I don't think I commented on yours. I will do that, although I did get emails. Maybe I did. I don't know. It is all starting to blend together. Guys, I will comment on your comments with my email address for you to send me your mailing address. Whew, 4 more days. But who's counting? All right. Today we have Christine King to thank for this gift. Christine sent me this, what I'm about to show you, as well as several heartstring samplery patterns. I've decided to save those for just my general giveaways, and this special one for Christmas is Miribilia's Emerald Mermaid. Isn't she gorgeous? So we have the pattern. We have what I believe must be all the DMC. I did not check, but it was all included in here, so I assume it is all the colors that you need for this. 2 spools of the very fine braid, Krynic very fine braid that you need for this. and what I believe must be all the beads for it. So we have 5 different colors of beads. Pretty, right? Christine, again, thank you so much for your generosity. This is awesome. So, this is open to everybody. I will ship this anywhere in the world. Today's question, after all that talk of food, which do you like better, the holiday meal or the leftovers? I, for one, as much as I like the holiday meal, I like the fact that you can keep having the holiday meal for several days after. I love leftovers. And my favorite leftover, which I will probably never get again in my life, is to have a turkey or a ham sandwich on my mother's homemade buns. Because in addition to, you know, she would make the trifoil buns, the tree, you know, the ones with the 3 lumps for our holiday meals, but she would also sometimes make hamburger buns. And either a turkey or ham sandwich on one of my mother's homemade buns with Swiss cheese and mayonnaise. Yum, yum, yum. Add a little mashed potatoes and stuffing on that plate. Maybe some fruit salad or some leftover veggies, but more often than not, just the sandwich. That's what I call good eating. So guys, which do you like better, the holiday meal or the leftovers? Until tomorrow, know that I love you, know that I'm having a ton of fun with this, and I will talk to you later.